but she's transphobic to a lot of people. Transphobic. Yeah, and that's the thing. I get that, and that's the thing. I don't think people are not denying that. Like, no one's saying, give me 1 second, Storm's Paranoid Says. And that's the thing. No one is denying that she is just as bad as everybody else. No one's denying that. But it's the point that she is trying to raise is that she was, like, she faced the transphobic abuse, so then she retaliated, which, yes, wasn't good. And yes, it shouldn't have happened. I do understand, but I still hear the S and R cells on a weekly basis. Exactly. You will. I'm not going to sit there and lie. If you're a sub to misread, have more chance. I know, it's so stupid. If you gift her, you're probably more chance of getting in the box. Like, fuck off. Nah. Don't have open box debates if you're not going to say anything. Do you know what I mean? Don't have open box debates if you're not going to let people in. So stupid. Hello, Storm. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. So, like, my personal belief is transphobia is a made-up word, right? It doesn't exist. Because when you look at transgender people, right, they want to be a different gender, right? So
they don't want to be a different gender. They don't want to be a different gender. It's it's gender dysphoria. So you have the feeling that you are born in the wrong body.
Or do you think that's how you are up-brought? Well, where are you from, actually? Because in the UK, they teach it in schools.
I'm from Brighton. I'm from, like, the most liberal town, so I'm very much aware of it.
How the educational system puts it on to children.
Okay. Well, you're just a freak, so goodbye. Like, no, I'm all right. Like, nah, get off my live. But, like, transphobia is not made up. I'm not debating someone that has no brain. Like, sorry, that's just not happening. At the end of the day, like, I've followed EQ for a very long time, and the thing is, I think everyone's sitting there. Okay, well, cool. You can sit there and say all you want, but you know what? You can talk to yourself, my darling. The thing is, like, it's not, and that's obviously not even what the debate's about. So you can say I didn't want to debate, but you weren't even talking about the subject. But the thing is, right? I've followed EQ for such a long time, and yes. I'm not condoning anything she does. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting there condoning, like, her actions. Like, yes, I'm sure she's done some fucked up shit, but no one's perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's perfect. And that doesn't mean I'm condoning anything. But at the same time, like, you can't, just because you don't like her doesn't mean that you can't just miss her point. Like, at the end of the day, the transphobia on TikTok is mad. Like, and you can see it. You can look on someone's comments of a trans person and you will see abuse. You will see someone being dead named. You will see someone being nasty. But the minute, but God forbid, if someone did that to someone else, and it was obviously with racism, we're more in tune to pick that up and say that's wrong. But we need to have that same energy with transphobia. Like, because that is the way that this is the age that we are now. Like, I'm sorry, I think people who have their opinions on transphobia, or, you know, have their opinions on trans community, or have their opinions on certain things, you're going to think whatever you think. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to think whatever you think. You're going to think that it's wrong. You're going to think, you know, whatever. But a hate crime's a hate crime. Do you know what I mean? Like, a hate crime is a hate crime, and you know, that's just it. That's all it is. So it doesn't. You can. No, transphobia is needed. No, it's really not, Reese. It's really not. It's not, unfortunately. And oh no, you got blocked. Transphobia is not needed at all. And at the end of the day, you know, it's a protected characteristic. At the end of the day, we can't just keep. I'm just so sick of these creators pretending that they give a shit. Like, Miss Fred doesn't give a fuck about transphobia or racism. She doesn't give a fuck, because if she really gave a fuck, she would have intervened when Torian said something, but she didn't. And instead, she kicked out Angie. And I'm not sitting here being like, I know someone near me that's been transphobic. I think it's just people just shouldn't say it. Exactly. Just don't say anything. If you don't like it, don't say anything. But at the end of the day, it says everything, because Miss Red kicked Angie out the box, but kept Torian in. And Angie was the one who was coming back with, you know, with actual facts and being like, well, actually, no, this is how I feel and this is why you're wrong. And Torian was like, well, I just don't agree with you. I don't like you. I don't like EQ. I think she's a freak. But nah, Miss Red was just sat there like, Like, fuck off. Like, honestly, like, these are the kind of people that should not be having these kind of, like, discussions and live debates and stuff, because it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And it fucks me off because I'm just watching people getting, sorry, I will calm down eventually. I'm very irritated because I really wanted to get in that box and say something. And the fact that I was probably waiting for about an hour and watched the same people get added in and taken out and stuff, I was just like, you don't want to have a productive conversation. You just want the views. You just want drama. Because if you really cared, you would have taken Torian out when she started being a twat. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. And this is what fucks me off about live creators. They want to make you think that they give a shit about you. They want to make you think that they care. They want to make you think that, oh yeah, like, I respect you. Everyone deserves respect. But no, they fucking don't. They don't. Because if she really didn't like transphobia, she wouldn't be friends with DG. She wouldn't be friends with Torian. She wouldn't be friends with all these people that are transphobic. Make it make sense! Like, please help me. Oh my God. Torian is a twat. Like, she's such a wrong un. And the thing is, she's so full of shit because she can sit there and say, oh, Eva Queen's such a nasty person. She's such a nasty person. You're just as bad. Like, you're just as bad. She's constantly in everyone's boxes having arguments with people. Like, hello? Like, oh my God. I can't. Can't deal. I think we have to be very mindful as to not conflate transphobia with racism. Exactly. They're just as bad as each other. Nothing is better. Nothing is worse. Like, if someone is going to say the T slur to somebody and someone is going to say the N word to somebody, that is just as bad. You're just fighting fire with fire. But it's when you start going, well, actually, this is worse and that's worse. That's when you lose me, because you're like, no. That's a hate crime. By definition, it's a hate crime. So you can't just conflate the two. But again, it's because it's EQ and everyone's sitting there being like, oh, well, I don't like EQ. EQ's a bitch. EQ's this. Oh, she's done nasty stuff. Yes, she has. No one's saying she hasn't. I don't agree with half the fucking shit she does. And she doesn't either. She even said a few weeks ago, I really am mortified by the stuff that I used to say. So, like, what do we want her to do? Like, if she, at the end, she's remorseful for it, but she was making a point. And yes, no one is condoning what she said. It was bad what she said in response, but it was bad what fucking AJ said. Like, but it's fine, I guess. It's all fine. Like, oh, it just makes me irritated. You don't have to like her to understand the cause. Exactly. EQ's a business. Exactly. EQ knows exactly what she's doing. She is, I love EQ to pieces. She's fucking funny and I like her. But she's a troll. Do you know what I mean? Like, she is a self-certified troll. Like, she is there for fun. She's there for views. She's there to take the piss. But things like this, when you can hear her getting so angry like that in the box, you know she's being fucking serious. Like, you know that she is coming on with some points. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see the issue. You're right, Alice. You're right, lads.
What's happening, bud?
What's happening, lads? What's going on?
What does it say at the top? I can't read it. I can't read the top bit. So finish the question you're asking.
So the question that I'm asking is, do you think that transphobia is more allowed on TikTok rather than racism?
It's about the same, is it not? No.
So do you think that if someone was being transphobic to somebody, like, it's more like no one would really care, whereas if someone was to drop the hard N-word on someone, everyone would start having their hands up?
Well, it depends, because with all due respect, whoever you're telling that to, whether you being transphobic or racist, it depends how, what's the word to put it, being politely, emotional they are about it. So, like, you could call two homosexual guys a bad word for calling them gay. I don't know what it would be. One of them would be like, that's a joke. The other one would be like, I'm phoning the police on you for harassment.
But then, to be fair, I'm gay, so like, if I don't know you and you're coming up to me and you call me the F word, I'm obviously going to take offence to that because I don't know you like that. But if it's me and my gay friends and we call each other that and stuff, me personally, that's a joke because that's between me and my gay friends. But if it's someone that I don't know and if say, for example, if I met you in a pub one day, both of you, and we were all having a laugh and you called me the F word, whether you meant that as a joke or not, I would be offended by that, because that's a very harsh word.
See, it's a question for you. It's hard to explain. So how is that offensive to you? What does that emotionally do to you that affects you by someone saying that word? Because what offensive words are there for a straight male?
There isn't any, really.
Exactly, because nobody really takes offence to it.
Yeah, but you guys weren't persecuted for majority of your life. I mean, I'm quite lucky that I was brought up in quite a liberal town, and I've got quite accepting parents. But you guys haven't had to struggle with being told that you're not normal, that it's disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very different.
But the thing is, it isn't really normal. For
your opinion.
No, factually.
No, in your opinion.
But you can't reproduce kids.
No, I can't. I don't want to. Ugh.
No, not that you want to, but that's why it's been frowned upon for so long, because it hasn't been a normal thing for so long. It's an emotion.
If it's not normal, then why are there so many cases of so many animals being homosexual? There's so many homosexuals.
Animals do it for dominance.
It's a dominance thing for animals.
Mm-hmm.
If a dog male mounts,
if a dog mounts another male, it's dominant.
To say, I'm better than you. Right. That's what they think.
I personally don't think it's wrong.
Neither do
I don't think it's wrong at all.
Please
I just and I think it's wrong that people do judge it. 100%. But I don't understand how people see. You could say that word to one gay person, and you could say that word to another gay person. One of them could find it offensive, and the other one couldn't. So it's really down.
Why would you say it at all? Like, why do you want to say it at all? It's just not a nice word, is it?
But it's just a word.
It's not a nice word, is it? It's not like it's like being called a cunt. Like, not everyone wants to be called a cunt. Do you know what I mean?
But then it's just how you react it, because if anybody called me that, I wouldn't bother me. It's just a word.
I would laugh at it.
Yeah, but that's you, isn't it? But I think when it comes to like words like the N word, like the N word has such a historical background behind it. Like the N word is what they would call slaves. Like, so that is a very heavy word.
So then other black people call other black people that. So
that's their way of reclaiming their word to each other. Why would you want to say a word with such a heavy connotation behind it?
But regardless of who says it, it's still the same word.
It just sounds like you want to say something just to be different.
But it's what emotional attachment someone has to that word when it's said to them by different people. You either don't have that word said at all, or whoever says that word, it's not wrong.
So because you're not allowed to say it, you don't think anyone should be allowed to say it?
No, but then it's completely. You can't tell one person that you can say it, it's fine because of your ethnicity, but then you say to somebody else that you can't say it.
Right, but why would you want to call a black person that word? Like, I don't understand why you would want to.
I would want to, but I'm just saying if someone was to.
In general, yeah.
All right.
I personally wouldn't go up to anyone and
say saying it. Go out and say it.
What's that?
No one's stopping you from saying it. Go out and say it, but you probably won't get a very good reaction from it because it's not.
I've said it to people before.
Well, then that just says more about you, doesn't it? That just says that you're a piece of shit. Anyway. Hello? Like, oh my God. I don't understand people like that. People are crazy. Like, hello? Like, stop requesting me, guys. I've done. I've ended ya. Goodbye. Like, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, you can sit there and be like, what's a word? What's a word? But the thing is, you're just basically saying, I can't say it, no one else can say it. Like, okay. But why would you want to call someone that word? Like, why would you want to call a black person the N word? What are you getting out of that? Because I don't understand this. I don't understand when people go like, I've had many, like, you know, I've had many chats with my parents about this. I'm not saying that my parents are racist at all. We've had a lot of chats in the past about this because they've said not similar things to what they've said, but they've said like in conversation they've been like, well, I don't understand why like black people can say it to each other, but I can't say it. But I'm like, why would you want to say it? What is making you want to say that word? Like you've got to ask yourself that kind of question because I can make it. Yeah, exactly. It's okay to say when I'm right. Well, I mean, I'm not the judge and jury. Do you know what I mean? I just think it just says more about your character if you want to go and outwardly say that word. Do you know what I mean? It's not that it. It's just not. It's just not the one. I'm not going to say it because I don't really like that word. To be honest, it's not a nice word. But I'll keep it more about me. Like for me personally, the F word in relation to gay people is horrible because when you actually look about it, because I remember in school people used to be like, oh, it just means like a bundle of sticks or it just means meatballs. No, it doesn't. Back in the day, they would call us that because it's to do with like burning. It's to do with like burning gay people. Like it's to do with that kind of stuff. You're just insecure. I'm sure. I'm very insecure. I'm very insecure, darling. That's why I'm on a live stream right now. Yeah, I'm so insecure. Anyway, goodbye. But at the end of the day, like, it's just, you know, I am. Okay, you know me so well, obviously. But the thing is, it's like, that's how it feels. And it's horrible. And words do hurt. And people can sit there and be like, oh, snowflake, snowflake. So I'm like, no. There are certain things you can't say to certain people. I'm not going to go out of my way and call a black person that word because it's a horrible word to say. I don't want to say that. And it's got such a horrible meaning behind it that why would you want to say that to someone? Like, why? I don't understand when white people are like, oh, you know, oh, blah, 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 like, you know, why, oh, if they can say it to each other, why can't we? Why would you want to? Like, it's something that, oh, grow up, yeah, whatever. Oh, fuck off then. If you don't like it, scroll off. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, you know, the reason why I've started this live is because of this conversation from, sorry, but hardly anyone says it to each other on the black people. Anyway, next. Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But when you see, but it's more impactful when a white person says it to a black person because it's racist, because of the connotations behind it. And if you don't like it, if you hate to troll, then just fuck off. I couldn't give a fuck. But all my point is, let's go back to the original point. My point is, this live was spurred up. Now that I've got everyone here, the live was spurred up. Oh, you fucking jog on. I don't care. Why are you in my comments then? Stay being a viewer. At the end.
And she was throwing hormones. I had to fight for 5.5 years to get hormones. Now, I know England doesn't give hormones under the age of 18, but I had to fight to get hormones. And I didn't get my hormones until I thought when I was 16, got turned back. 17, we pushed. I just got it. But at the time, everything with the paperwork went through. It was not long before my 18th birthday. I was on hormones from then till 19. And then 19, I had my surgery. And I'm a great believer in, I do not believe gender dysphoria goes away having the surgery. It does not. Mm. It just helps suppress it and maintain it. That's it.
But Cars, Beers and Gods, I do think you've kind of like low-key like retreated a little bit because before Barbie joined, you were basically saying like there's no such thing as the science and stuff like that. And now I feel like you're kind of backtracking a little bit because that's the thing, it is a recognised...
I still stick to that. So I'm never going to agree that Barbie has a female brain. Barbie has a male brain that leans feminine heavily, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot measure that. What are the chemicals? What are the chemical levels? And this is what I mean about the claims coming from some very vocal people within the LGBT community. They find studies that have claims to the studies. They don't check what the studies have done to reach these claims, which, like I just outlined to you, in the brain studies, they have not done anywhere near what would be considered like gold standard criteria to make the claim they're claiming in the scientific realm. They just haven't. And they're not measuring anything that would verify what they're claiming. They're saying these brains look similar, so trans must be true. And that's a very, very wild claim to make off that study. Like, yeah, trans is true, but it's a very wild claim to make from that study and to then bolster down and say it's scientific fact. So that's what I'm against. And then off the back of that, if you haven't got it as scientific fact, what part of this belongs in the school curriculum? And what exactly are you going to be telling children? Because if it isn't scientific fact, but you're teaching it as scientific fact, you're lying to kids and you're confusing kids, and then you're misrepresenting truth. And when kids have the truth misrepresented to them, we all know what happens. They get groomed by people who want to do bad things to them because they aren't aware of reality and they cannot protect themselves against that.
No, I agree. I don't think it should be pushed on children. I think the only thing the children need to learn about while they're growing up into probably 13, 14, 15 is about sexual health, safety, and how their own organs work. And I don't think anything else needs to be spoke about. That's literally it. And I'm a girl that's had the surgery. I'm trans. Yes, I was not taught about it in school. I went out after school. The closest thing to me I've seen someone who's changed gender was a drag queen on a Ricky Lake show when I was a kid. I never saw anybody else. I never claimed to see anybody else. Didn't know it existed. Didn't know what it was. The only way I was educated through it was going through the psychologists and all that what was. And they diagnosed me, and from that they educated me.
And that's the thing. I agree. I think everyone's got points, and I completely agree with that as well. I do feel like I think everyone needs to be 100% sure, because I know that I've got friends that transitioned when they were I think one of my friends transitioned when she was 12 years old, and she was and this was years ago, but she had the hormones and everything, and I never even knew until I think about 2 years into our relationship when she told me, and I was shook. But it's because she was obviously so young, and obviously that kind of stuff. It's such a small case, and it's something that I think people are thinking that's happening to everyone, but it's not. I think it is. I mean, obviously I'm not trans, so I don't know how hard it is to get hormones or get the treatment or get therapy and stuff. But I would have thought when you're transitioning or when you're starting that, you would have to go through a lot of therapy for them to even put you on puberty blockers or anything like that.
I went on puberty blockers at 16, and they weren't major. They were very, very small dosage. Do I think it should be pushed on children? No. Would I give a 12-year-old it? I would not give a 12-year-old it. But if you said to me, if I was 12, would I wanted it? I would have said yes. Mm-hmm. But then the case study goes then is, how do you differentiate the difference between someone who's genuinely trans, who just wants to be a positive addition to society, just wants to get on with their life, to somebody who can't quite make up their mind and know that this decision right now is forever? Because once you make that decision, you go down that path and you have that surgery, I don't care what it says, you cannot have a successful detransition surgery. Yeah. It's not successful. And anyone tells you that is a lie.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that.
My doctor told me, if you have this surgery, Leah, and you want it reversed, it is going to be unsuccessful. It doesn't matter how much they tweak and pull and manipulate the skin and all that, you can't get it back. Mm-hmm. So what you're going into, make sure you're going in and you are educated yourself and you really know what you want.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. I think going back to with my point, so with on TikTok as well, I think obviously it's good to have kind of both ends of the spectrum here. But I think my point is that I just feel I think people are too comfortable being very casually transphobic and very unkind. But I don't think this. But then I think it's more. But I think that's kind of pushed. That's very easy. People are very easy to turn a blind eye to that, and I don't feel like that gets enough.
But do you not think so? It's because you've got the people that 1 minute they're a boy or a girl, and the next minute go, oh, I'm now so and so. You see no indication of it slowly coming out. As a kid, my parents were always convinced, we've got a gay kid. Instantly, my parents we've got a gay kid. You can clearly see it. The kid's constantly talks about wanting to be a girl, or is always prancing around as a fairy all the time, all the time. And it was you go back in the 90s and the 2000s, it was, you didn't get the trans kids, you didn't hear about it. It was just, you're gay, or you're very feminine, or you're very masculine if you was a female. It was never trans. Where now, if you get a feminine boy, a lot of people go, oh, they must be trans. No, you're not. And I don't think people saying that you're not trans or are you sure what you're doing is transphobic. I think people are just double questioning people to make sure that what you're doing is actually right for you.
Yeah, I get you. I think what prompted my live was because I was watching Miss Red's live in this morning, and basically what's happened recently is, you know, Evil Queen. So
I've heard of her. I don't know her.
Yeah, I think she's probably one of the biggest UK trans creators. So she's obviously a trans woman. She's gone through the whole surgery, everything. So she's very open about it and everything. So what she was basically saying is that this all got prompted because she had an argument with someone on live the other day, and they started being transphobic towards her. So in retaliation, she then flipped it on them and said something racist to them. And everyone was saying, like, and her point was that no one said anything when they started being transphobic towards her, but as soon as she said the racist thing back, suddenly she was in the wrong. And I think, while I don't agree with what she said, I think I do get her point. Like, I feel like people are too comfortable calling people a man or dead naming people and stuff like that. And I think what she did was she used racism to kind of get people to open their eyes a bit and be like, that they're just as bad as each other. Like, we shouldn't be doing either.
The only problem is actually fundamentally biology-wise, yes, she is a man. I'm a man. You can't take that away from us. That's what biology-wise what we are. You can never change that. If you have your hemoglobin levels done, it will come back that you've got a level of a man. You'll have DNA type markers done, they'll come back masculine. You can't change what is fact. We're only cheap imitations of women. That's all we are. We're the closest thing to an imitation. You can't actually be a woman. I've not got ovaries, I've not got a womb, I've not got a cervix. All I've got is a vagina cavity that's been made for a surgeon.
It makes me sad hearing you talk about yourself like that, because I see you as a woman, and that's how I would see you as a woman. Because
if people respect me and treat me as a woman, then I am so like, thank you so much. You treat me exactly how I look to portray myself. But if I actually want to sit there and say that I am a fully fledged woman, no, I am not.
Mm-hmm.
I do say I'm a woman, but if someone goes, but you was born a man, I will straight away go, yes, I am. I am born a boy, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change that, the truth. So if someone says to me, you're a man, I'm going to be like, oh, thanks. Like, I don't expect to be addressed as that because I don't portray that image. I like to be treated what you see me as. If you see me as a woman, I like to be treated as a woman. But that doesn't mean to say that if someone goes, you're a man, I should go, you're transphobic. Because actually what they're saying is actually factual truth. And I can't stand there and say that I stand for everybody.
Sorry, Carter, I'm like kicked you because you weren't saying anything, so I was just going to try and jig it along.
You said to me, like, you are a guy, Al, and I go, biology-wise, yes, I am. And if you said to me, but I'm going to treat you like a woman, I'd be like, thank you so much, you're really sweet, and I really appreciate that you acknowledge the image I'm portraying and the person I want to be. But fundamentally, at the end of all of this, the roots of it is yes, I was born a boy, and you can't change that, and I accept that, and case closed.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And I think a lot of us that have had the surgery could own our history and go, yes, I was born a boy, or yes, I was born male, and what?
Yeah, you know what? I think you should get on EQ's panel tonight.
I don't think they'd stand there and say to you that you're transphobic. Like, if somebody said to me, "You're come on straight live," and there was a black man, for example, said, "You're a man, you're a mushmalt, you're all this," because you are being derogatory now, call me a mushmalt and a tranny and stuff like that. Yes, I'm a transsexual. That's what we are genetic. That's not genetic. That's what we are titled as. We are transsexuals. Yes, we are. And I am a trans woman, so I am and I am an imitation of a woman. Yes, I am. I know that. You call me a man. Yes, I know that. They're all facts. They're things you can't argue with because that is fact. You can't stand with a black man and say you're black because he'll go, no shit.
But could you? But the thing is, I would say to you, Bob, is like that's how you've always felt, though. You've always felt that you're a woman, so that's something that you can't change. Like, you can't change what you've done in your life because it's how you are.
If a black man came on and went, I feel like I'm white, and then got skin bleached and bleached himself, his actual genetic gene pool will still be an African male, and that's just who he is. You can't change that. He will still be a black man, and if he wants to identify as a white man, I'll identify him as a white man if he wants me to. I ain't got a problem. At the end of the day, if that's what he wants to do, good on him. But if somebody said to me he was a black man, and I'd go, okay, I'll acknowledge it. Doesn't mean I'd have to say it to him, because he might not like that. But if someone said, "Oh, he's a black man," I'd go, "Okay." I'm not going to stand. I'm not going to defend either one of them, because at the end of the day, what the guy has just stated is he was born what he was born, and what he is now is what he is now. But I will respect people how they identify. But I'll also acknowledge the past history, because I think you can't own who you are and love yourself if you don't own it and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask Barbie what you think about non-binary identities?
Well, I don't know. No, that confuses me. No, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how. In my eyes, I see male, female from my perspective. So this is my opinion personally, guys, not anybody else's or what I think anyone else should believe. It's purely what I believe and what I think. I don't know how you can wake up one day and go, I'm a woman, or I'm a man, or I'm neither. I don't know.
If you don't mind, I'm going to just move it on from non-binary, because I don't really know about non-binary, but I don't really feel comfortable talking about black women, and I want here to like kind of jump in. What were you going to say earlier, though, Cardsmith, when I accidentally kicked you? Sorry.
No, it was interesting that when Barbie was saying that for them, like they completely recognised that some people are going to see them as a man, and that's a fact, and some people are going to see them as a woman, and that's kind of a fact too, and that their journey has put them into this place where there are kind of multiple truths now. That made you feel like kind of she couldn't really be her authentic self as a woman, right? But for me, that felt the most authentic way for her to present herself. Like that is just the truth of her journey. She was born a boy, and through developing into a man, that just didn't line up, and that can make so much sense to, if you like, what am I? I'm a gender critic, I guess, but that makes so much sense to a gender critic. We can fully understand how that can be the way you like your life has gone. But when people say like, I am a woman, if you tell me I'm a man, you're denying my truth. I'm like, but you're denying my truth when I say you're a man, because that my truth is related to your biology, and that's the type of man I'm talking about when I say you're a man. If you want to talk about the gender that you are and the way you reach that gender identity, then we can do that. And yeah, I can see the similarities, I suppose, you draw between woman and trans woman, to the point that you can combine the two. But yeah, when you say to me a trans woman is a woman, like that's where I'd ask, well, what is that then? What is this umbrella woman that you're talking about? Because I don't fully see that. I see feminine as the umbrella, and trans women and women fall into that, but then so do gay men sometimes, and so do straight men sometimes. I fall into the feminine quite often, like
everyone has different sides of the spectrum, but I do think it's all about respect as well, because I do feel like at the end of the day, regardless of what everyone's feelings is, it is recognised by law as a hate crime. So if I was to go off on a transphobic rant right now to Barbie and call her every name under the sun, she could technically take legal action against me because I'm being a hate crime. Or if I assaulted or hurt someone who was trans because they were trans, that is a hate crime. So I feel like using hate crime language towards each other, especially on a social media app, should be taken seriously, and it should be something that, not the police, but I do feel like it should be something that it should be a hate crime's a hate crime, and I feel like a slur is a slur, and I feel like if you say something to someone, it should have that same gravity. That's kind of how I feel.
I get that to a point. I think I'm more of the kind of say what you want to me, and if I don't like it, then I'm probably just not going to engage with you that often. And I see social media more like view it like a pub. If I'm not confident saying what I'm going to say to you as if I was at a table with you in a pub, then I probably shouldn't say it. Because yeah, if we're 3 pints deep and I say the wrong thing, then who knows? I could get a glass thrown at me, So you should have that kind of, when we're talking to each other, you should have that kind of mentality about you. Like, say the wrong thing, they could take it wrong, and it could kick off. So yeah, I don't think I would say anything on here that I wouldn't say in a pub I have done, to be fair, when I get really angry, but then that's probably stuff I would say in a pub. So yeah.
At the end of the day, everyone's different.
People have to represent themselves truthfully, right?
Yeah, we're at such a different point in the human race and in time now where everyone is so different. And we are, I think the thing is, I think what people, I mean, obviously, I feel like I'm educating a trans, I don't want to come across like I'm preaching to a trans person because obviously you're going to know exactly what I'm saying. But like, I feel like trans people have been around for such a long time. And I feel like now, especially where we're getting a lot more it's a lot more prevalent. And obviously now, the thing is, people are always going to be on either side of every kind of debate. Like everyone's going to have an opinion on everything. But I personally, for me, I just think it's about respect, and it's about if you say a slur, it's a slur, regardless of whether you agree with that, whether you agree that like with gay people or whether you agree with racism or whatever. A slur is a slur, and I feel like it shouldn't be. They should both be treated exactly the same. I don't feel like anyone should have to endure someone being racist or transphobic towards them, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. I feel like it's just the world we live in now. Like it's not, it's just about respect, personally.
I would feel, if I was out with my group of friends and someone came up to me and was like, "You're a man," my response would be, "Okay, and what? What to do?" Like, that's my response. For my friends who love me, who look after me, I couldn't say they retaliate the same. One of my friends would probably go into full fighting force.
Yeah.
Because she takes that as a derogatory remark. Whether there's facts behind it or not, I know that. But you don't need to. Why do you feel the need to tell me that? Like, I know what I was born. So when someone says you are a man, or you are a boy, or you are a male, I know. The only thing I say about that is, why would a stranger or someone who knows of me feel the need to walk up to me and say it to me? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't walk up to somebody who's got awful clothes on and go, "You look a mess," or walk up to a black person and go, "You're black." Mm-hmm. Like, they're the sort of things that you think, why would you do that? That's just inappropriate. It's unneeded. Why? They're the only things that I don't understand. Is like, if you see someone, why would you feel the need to say it? If you don't know them on a personal level, why do you feel need to walk up to them? Now, if you was with your own group of friends and when she was born male, or that's actually that's actually biologically a man, well, I don't see anything wrong with that, because you're talking amongst your own friends about someone else. You're not doing it the other way of like going over to them and going, "You're a man." But
it's just respect, isn't it? It's just about respecting people, and it's just.
It's like when people introduce themselves. I've got a few gay friends who go, "Oh, hi, I'm so and so, I'm gay." Oh, I don't walk up to them and go, "Oh, I'm trans." Like, why is what I've got between my legs or who I lay with? How is that going to change your relationship as a friend? Like. Who you sleep with doesn't bother me as long as it's not underages. I don't care. That's not my concern. So I agree with you. A lot of that is respect and acknowledging what's actually appropriate to say to somebody and what's not. But if somebody said, "Is Elle born a boy?" and somebody goes, "Yes, she was born a man," or "Yes, she was male," yes, it's true. Yeah, that isn't transphobic to me. That is just the person stating a factual evidence. So that's where I lay. Everything I say, guys, and everyone that's watching, this is all from my own personal perspective. I'm not saying how you should all think or what you should all do. It's my personal perspective and what I've learned on my journey.
Definitely. I'm really glad to have met you because you're definitely, it's nice to have like a different perspective come through. I will say as well, you should definitely check out EQ because I think she's having a panel later with just trans women. Regardless, I think you'd be brilliant to have on there because I think you're going to have a very different perspective and I feel like it'll be good to kind of get that point across. So I definitely would check that out 100%.
I would definitely watch
My only trouble is though, I actually get called transphobic by a lot of them. They're all like, call me a trans hater, and I'm not. But the only thing I think is if you are a positive addition to society, that should be the only the final thing. Is you should be a positive addition to society. You shouldn't be coming into society as a problematic person because then you create problems for other people who are in the same, I hate this word, category as yourself. Like, as you get it, as I get it, because you get your good, your bad, your uglies in every category of every race, gender, religion. I don't think I don't see. I think people should be struck off as well. You shouldn't be allowed on social media. Immediately somebody comes on and starts preaching hatred and stuff like that, or pushing it on somebody, cancel them, get them off. That's not what's needed. The world don't need that. You're causing problems that don't need to be needed.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I've just seen what's on your hoodie. I've just figured it out. For so long, I've thought
the little
themes, man.
Yeah, I got it.
My life. I agree. I completely agree with you.
That's class.
I just want to get on with my life like you want to get on with yours.
Exactly. I'm going to drop the boxes now just because I'm probably going to come off soon.
That's
But thank you guys so much.
Guys, but it's been lovely chatting to you, and I'll chuck you a follow popcorn.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been nice chatting to you, by the way, Barbie.
Nice chatting to you.
Cheers for having me, popcorn.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
See, what started off as like quite a combative and stuff. Well, not combative, but what started off as kind of like two opinions not being like, not understanding each other. We've come away from it feeling very positive, so I like it. But it's just been a weird one today. I feel like it's just, I think the thing is, everyone has different opinions and everyone like, you know, thinks different ways and stuff. My personal thing has just been about like respect, and I just feel like it's just all about respect and all about like, just don't say those kind of stuff to each other. But what I think what really spurred the live on was just watching like a creator who is just doesn't actually give a shit about either of these categories. They're just doing it so they can get all the likes and all the gifts and all the views, which I just think is pathetic. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I don't know. I've just lost a lot of respect for Miss Red, to be honest. Never mind, I went to go this. This live's been brilliant. That's all right. I know, it's been good, isn't it? It's been already fun. Wait, what time is it now, actually? Let's have a look. What time is it now? I actually do work, just so you know, guys. So I've got a meeting at 2, so I've got to be. Can I join? Yeah, sure. It's open boxes, man. Join in. Well, I'm still going. I've got to be on for another couple of 20 minutes or so. But yeah, it just irritated me. I just thought, like, you know, no respect. I don't know these people personally. Do you know what I mean? None of us know these people personally. None of us know each other off this app. Do you know what I mean? So, and if you do, brilliant. But the thing is, you can't sit there. Yeah, sure, Kylan, I'll drop you in. The thing is, you can't sit there and have a live and be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, everyone jump in if you want to. Hi, Kylan. Is it Kylan? Keelan? Hello? Hello. Yes?
Oh shit, I don't know, I'm just like here, I guess.
Oh no, you can't just join and sit in. You got to have an opinion, hun. See you later. Oh yeah, and definitely a child as well, 100%. Oh, he's joining in. Mems, join in. Let's go. Let's get you in. Yeah, join. If you want to join, guys, just request. Let me join back. No, Colin, because you're not going to say anything, so I'm not just going to...
Just really quickly, I'm like half asleep. Okay. I just want to say thank you for holding this live in a really safe space and educating myself. I am part of the Black community, and it's like, I feel as though some people are forgetting there are Black trans too. Mm-hmm. So not only do they go through the diversity of having racism, they're also having the discrimination of racism, they're also having the discrimination of being trans as well. And it's like, we also need to look at that. I think what's happened over the past couple of days, I think it's been positive because we've got spaces like this where there's open discussions and we can learn from that. If we could all just learn and educate ourselves and respect each other and our choices, I think we would have a better place. And on this app, there's too many personal beefs and they're deflecting from the point itself. You know, racism is bad. Unfortunately, we do live in our skin. We do suffer racism every single day. But at the same time, a trans man or lady have to go through that themselves as well. They live through it every day. They was in the different body and they had to find their way. So I think we can all come together as a collective and have open discussions without being discriminative or trying to have one up. Then maybe we can all just learn and live together in a nice community along the way.
No, completely.
There's too much toxicity and not enough love and understanding.
It is. It's just not the right. Like, that's the thing. What was winding me up on Miss Red's platform was just that it just wasn't. I didn't feel like the heart was in the right place. It just felt like everyone was just arguing, and some people were just being like, "Well, I don't like EQ, so I'm not going to listen." It's like, but then you're not. You're just completely like dropping the sub. Like you're just completely missing the point.
And because people don't like somebody else, they're dismissing the point as well. Do I think transphobia has been sidelined by racism on TikTok?
No.
I think they both go hand in hand. I don't think there's enough conversations when it comes to the GBLT community, and there needs to be a lot more on that and understanding. Also, if we're going to be talking about racism, we also have to understand the history. Now, I know there's a thing going around about the word bun, and I was in, I think it was Canadian Angie's live last night, and there was a guy that come up and said that bun meant burn. Well, actually, it's a different connotation when it comes to the Jamaican word of pat, where it actually means infidelity. So it just means like, oh, forget that, F this and F the other. So there's different connotations to it. The song clearly was homophobic back in the 80s. That's why it got banned in the UK. We all are aware of that. Also, within the Black community as well, when it comes to, I want to say some discriminations, it root stems from slavery. So back in the slavery days, what the slave owners used to do was called backbreaking. So they used to trigger warning, grape black men in front of their women. So there's always been the stigma around blacks and gays, that there's a big issue around it, and they, you know, especially within our communities, it's unacceptable. But we have to learn from that and understand the history behind it. That's just one deep-rooted reason. I believe that we all should come together as a unity and understand that. And I don't think one is wrong without the other. It's just coming together to educate ourselves on both sides of the history and both sides of the coins. And everyone has their own personal journeys and everyone has their own personal views. So it's just understanding one another. You know, your journey, my journey, someone else's journey is different to everybody else. You know?
Can disagree with you can disagree with me, you can disagree with somebody else, but it's just
you can agree to disagree and not have to go personal.
Exactly. People just
you can have an adult conversation.
No, it was just mad, and that's literally what I'll say. Shout out Chelsea for the replays. This live's spurred on by you, Chelsea. But like, literally, that's what EQ was trying to say, though, and that's what people just don't get. It's just like it's nothing's worse than the other. They're the same. They're the same, but also, for example, like, I'm gay. I'm white, so I've only got one struggle. But like, it's just, you know, obviously, I've got friends from all walks of life, and I've seen all different sides of every different debate and stuff, and everyone is saying the same thing, but for some reason, no one can be on the same page. I just never understand.
Yeah, and it's like I said, we have to remember we have black trans as well, so they go for the worst. You know, not only are they black and they have to deal with that every single day in the fight of racism, they also have to deal with the very fact of their sexuality as well and what they choose to become. Well, not even what they choose to become, what they are inside, because it's not their choice to why they are the way that they feel. If you're a man and you're trans to a woman, or you're a woman that's trans into a man, you know, that's on them personally. That's their personal journey, and you can't take that away. Every isms is bad. And I just feel like at the moment it's why we're trying to up one. It's not an up one, it's just respect and understanding. But yes, ultimately, as a black person, we do suffer racism every day, and it's deep rooted back again from history. So if everyone did black history and learnt the history behind things and understand the meaning behind things, you probably have a better understanding, and then you can come to a mutual ground. I just don't think there's a mutual ground happening right now, and it's just like, come on. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, what about the black community? What about the black trans community? Like they oh my gosh, I think it was the last guy that came up in the box and he spoke about in America what they've gone through. You know, there are black trans that are literally getting unalived because not only are they black, they're trans. And because of the history of why initials, I just spoke to you about the backbreaking through slavery and why there's such a discriminatively, you know, outrageous thing behind being gay within the black community. It's being missed in translation. No one's hearing it. Like, you know, I was brought up Christian. The Bible says man should not sleep with man, and I've had this connotation growing up. It wasn't until I watched Drag Paul's Race.
Yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah.
Yeah, until I watched that and heard everyone's stories, I had a lot more respect and understanding for the gay, the LGBT, and the trans community. And it was just watching that program alone. I'm like, wow, you know, I'll be sitting there and someone will be telling their story and I'll be crying, especially the black trans. And I'm like, wow, this is what you're going through. And I'll be literally sitting there in tears. I can't discriminate. I'm not a discriminative person. I would just love everybody to get on, have a peace of mind. But in a way, what's happened over this past week has made platforms like yourself to open up and have these debates. If you can have open-minded people on your platform and have an open discussion, it will be beautiful. It's just learning from each other.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to come up and share that, you know, because
so much. I love it.
No,
I love it.
honestly.
I want to hear more people like you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to hear from like these people because I just feel like that's what was missing from the live earlier. Like, I just feel like everyone was there to argue, but it's like, this isn't the kind of conversation we need to be having. These conversations.
Yeah.
I was so angry when I started this live. I was literally like yelling.
I could feel it. I came in, I could feel it, and I was like, no. I was like, please relax.
I was trying to get into the live.
Like, there is people like ourselves within the Black community that don't always agree with certain things. We know Evil Queen. You know, there is things that she said that I don't agree with. There's things that other people have said that I don't agree with, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm going to understand. And I'm going to go and educate so I can understand better, so I can have that respect. You understand?
Exactly.
So,
it just irritates me. I just feel this app's very exploitative, and I feel like that whole. I know I've said it so many times, but I'm rounding it up again. And I'm just going to say I just feel like that whole live was just so pointless, and it was just so like it was that she didn't give a fuck what anyone was talking about, because if she actually gave a shit about racism and transphobia, she would have kicked Torian out when she started being transphobic to EQ, and she would have like taken action. But this is what I mean. Like, I think it's all people actually need to have these conversations and to understand why this stuff's happening and why people are being this way. And I don't know. I guess I think to be fair, I do feel like the last couple of days I'm starting to see more people talk about it now, which is nice, and it's gonna. Like
I said, I've come into your live, I've watched it, I've learnt from a trans lady that came in here, which you spoke eloquently, and you've now heard it from some, you know, a black person's point of view. Well, I'm mixed race, so you hear it from a black person's point of view as well. And it's like you said, is it being overshadowed? I think when it comes to the black community, we can't change our skin colour. So we've had racism from birth, you know, we have discriminations from birth, and it's been a struggle. Even to this day, we still get discriminated. There's still microaggressions. There's still a lot of other things that we go through. Being trans, you know, you are going through this as well. Do they go hand in hand? Yes. Is one better than the other? In a way, being black, you can't change the colour of your skin.
No.
And it's just the way it is. But let's also talk about black trans. It's not just a black and white divide. And I feel like what's happening is a black and white divide. You know, it's racism against white trans. There are black trans too that go and have the same amount of discrimination, not just through the colour of the skin, but through their choice of being, well, not their choice. Again, I have to word it correctly. I'm very new, so just bear with me. Them, you know, in themselves being a woman or a male. Do you know?
And that's the thing as well.
We have to be a bit open-minded.
We're in. I know for me, so I'm 27. So in school, I remember it's ingrained in us from very young age that racism is wrong, and we're taught about racism, and we're taught about the history about racism, and it's ingrained into us all the way through school and everything. As that, you know, the racism. But obviously nowadays, obviously with trans being such, it's not new, but with it's not new, but it's because it's become more mainstream and more trans people are coming forward. It's obviously new to a lot of people, which I understand. Obviously, some people aren't going to get it straight away, but it's just about the respect. It's about, and you know, it's recognised as a hate.
Respect and education. Like I just said about myself, the way that I was brought up in my family, it was forbidden, if that makes sense. It wasn't allowed until I was like, well, let's educate ourselves on this. And like I said, I watched the programme and I re-educated myself, and I was like, we are all human. At the end of the day, we are all human. We are all God's children in a sense. So we are here to kind of, how can I put it, come together as a unity. And what I feel like on the app is happening, there's more division than unity, and we need to bring unity back, because we are the spokesperson for the younger generations. If they can see us all getting on in a sense of unity, this world would be such a better place. Instead of having all this division, there's no need for it.
Absolutely.
We all have emotions, we all have feelings, we're all people of. That's just how I see things. I just don't feel like it should be discriminated. I just don't like discrimination, full stop, regardless if you're black, white, trans, gay. Just stop it. It just needs to stop. Let's just all get on. You know, if we can all sing Kumbaya around the fire, let's all go sing Kumbaya around the fire. You know, every girl needs a best gay friend. You know, how we meant to learn. Listen, I need to learn how to put my makeup on properly. I ain't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? Like, just embrace other people's cultures, other people's sexualities, other people's ethnicities, and and we will probably get on better. And that's just how I see things. So,
No, exactly.
but I just want to say thank you, massive thank you for really like me opening up and dash your feelings, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I am going to drop down because I get very nervous coming in.
You're all good. You're all good. I might do more of these
Thank
lives,
you.
because I want to hear from more people and I want to do more, but I've got to go soon. So, and also you can go, because what you actually just said was so disgusting. Like you said, I'm just going to read this comment out to everyone. Hope you both have the same 2025 as the Vivian. And if anyone who doesn't know, the Vivian is a drag queen who just recently passed away. So I don't really know where
I just ignore it. Look, they're small-minded people. We ignore them.
I know. It just
People don't want to be open-minded and educate themselves, and that's up to them. Like I say, we do face racism every day, but also you also face there's also homophobic every day as well. So and if we are going to be speaking on it, I really hope that some of the Black trans community and the Black gay community come through and speak on it as well, and show their side of what it's like being Black and trans and gay as well, so that you can see the discrimination on both hands. And I think that's what's needed, really.
Definitely. Wow. I'll chat to you soon, hopefully.
Thank you. I know, right? See you later.
See you later.
Bye, bye.
Today's been honestly so lovely. Peace in your lives. Honestly, like I was kind of expecting this live to kind of be like quite quiet, not quiet, but I thought I'd get quite a lot of hate. Firstly, I thought I'd get a lot of people trolling and stuff, and I did get a few people trolling, but the people that I've spoken to I can't even speak. The people that I've spoken to today, Mitchell, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you, Mitchell. It's just I'm actually ending the live soon. So, but if you drop me a follow, I will be back another time, and I'll do exactly the same debate. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow. I think I'll do it again. Because I do actually have a job, guys. So I've got to pop off to go to work now. So I got a meeting. But I just wanted to get this live going because I was really angry about the misread lives earlier. Oh, bye, JD. Sorry. Let's hope you're not. Oh, fuck off, Dave. Honestly, do one. Please stay for one. I can't, man. I've got to go to a meeting. But honestly, thank you everyone for coming in and chatting and obviously sharing the stuff. And like I said, I will be back soon. I'll do another live soon. Because I want to get a more convoluted conversation about this, and I want to really get an open dialogue going. I want to speak to more people as well. But yeah, thanks to everyone that joined.